How to debug your WooCommerce store fast. Many times I have seen when developers need to debug WooCommerce store, like debugging some bugs or some broken functionality, they take for them very long time. It's because they just don't know the right way how to do that. So in this video I will tell you how I debug a WooCommerce stores, and usually I do it fast. About WooCommerce. Well, WooCommerce is a WordPress plugin which offers e-commerce functionality, and WordPress and WooCommerce on a base is very flexible because it's open source solution. But it comes of course with a price, because if there is more flexibility, there is more things that can go wrong. Some functionality could be broken, or it's possible that there are some design issues. Usually these things happen when there is like some updates, or maybe install new plugins or themes, or maybe just change some settings. So first usually I check log files, server-side log files, some WordPress log files, and maybe I can see some issues there. If you don't see anything there, then you need to start just creating test site from existing production site, so you have perfect copy of it. After creating test site, I'm starting with the plugins. Usually I like to disable all plugins at once, so I can see if any of the plugins is causing the issue, and I don't spend a lot of time just disabling plugins one by one and to understand if the plugin is real issue. You can disable all plugins just by renaming plugin file in the WordPress content directory. And after disabling plugins, I see that functionality is working now, then I understand the plugin is the issue, and I enable all plugins again, and then I start disabling them. And that is the way how I can find which plugin caused the issue. If the plugins is not the issue, the next thing I'm checking is the theme. So basically I'm just changing to another theme, and then I check if functionality are working or not. If functionality is working, that means the issue is in the theme, so I need to start checking the theme, which is I'm going over the settings in a theme configuration, or I'm going through the files in the theme, let's say like functions PHP or some other files in the theme, and I'm starting to disabling the functionality just by commenting out the code. And usually just by debugging plugins or theme should work. But if there still have a problems in there, then I'm starting to checking files. I'm starting, let's say, I'm renaming hot access file, because sometimes it can be issue, especially if it is related to languages or some caching or redirects. Then I usually go over the must-used plugins and checking are they disabled. Maybe there is some interesting files. Also there could be a viruses. Then I usually go also over VP content directory and checking are there some caching files, because I have seen sometimes when developers leave some unused caching files, and this also could create like issues. So basically I'm checking the files. Also I like to scan for the viruses. For the viruses I use sometimes WordPress security plugin. In our hosting we usually offer like Immunify scanning, where can I scan all files. And if nothing helps, then I just reinstall WordPress core files and checking if does it help. If not, and if nothing helps, then I just try to get backup from version which did work. I set it up so I can access it, and then I start to compare it with the existing like production site and the old backup site, and I start to see where could be the problems and where could be the issues. And of course I always have enabled WordPress debugging, which I can point in a WooCommerce configuration file, so I see what's happening. And in the end, of course, I always checking from the server side, is everything correct. Let's say there is enough resources, everything is set up correctly. Maybe there is some firewall could block some things, so I'm checking server side. But in the end, usually it's based on the theme or plugin issues. So my suggestion is, before starting to going deeper in the code and checking everything in the code and spending a lot of hours just by debugging and analyzing your WooCommerce store, just start with the basics by disabling plugins and themes and see what's happening. And if you can't see anything there, then just start to checking what's happening. I hope these suggestions will help you to debug site faster, spend less time on it, and save your money.